What's up, everybody? Oops, just realized my mic was muted. Hello, how y'all doing? This Saturday, it is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha. Welcoming all of you to Lady Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where you know I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Big ups to all of my subscribers that have been rocking with me from day one and are still loyal to my channel. I'm grateful for you. Secondly, for all of you who have just joined, you just subscribed, I welcome you to Mocha's Cafe de Paris family. If this is your first time hanging out with me and so far you enjoyed today's content, please be sure that you subscribe, hit that notification bell. So in the event that I do any more uploads, you will not miss out. Now, keep in mind today I will not be hanging out in the chat room, basically because I'm trying to stay focused on this particular content because this content here is very, I have to be very detailed because I'm going into masculinity. So for all my mods, I'm expect you to be on deck if you can, because I'm not going to be hanging out in the chat room. Okay, so I'm going to be definitely, trying to focus on giving this content. So again, all my mods, you're gonna have to be on deck. I won't be hanging out in the chat room. So just anybody who comes in, make them feel welcome. Let them know that we appreciate them, and just make them feel like real guests here. Okay, so big ups to all of you that's entering the chat room. Again, y'all won't be seeing me. I'm here, but I'm going to be just focusing on specifically doing this content because this is a very heavy content. Whenever you're talking about masculinity, there's a lot of layers, there's a lot of elements that's involved with this particular type of content, and it takes a lot of focus, it takes a lot of concentration. So I want to make sure that I'm giving y'all the most effective content, and the only way I can do that, I won't be interacting with y'all too much. So I apologize, but I'll be popping in. But I'm just letting y'all know I won't be hanging out in the chat this evening. So if y'all come in, I don't see you, don't take it personal if I don't acknowledge you. But right now I'm not in the chat room. I'm just doing this straight off the dome. So again, to all my mods, please be on deck. Make everybody feel welcome. So with no further ado, we're going to talk about how do we define the word masculinity. How do we define that? Usually when we hear the word masculinity, whenever I know for me personally, when I hear the word masculinity, the first thing that has always come to my mind when I hear the word masculinity, I think of a man that's physically equipped. um he's very physically fit, in shape. I think of him being as at least over 5 foot, 5 feet even. I mean, 5'5". I'm thinking he's probably 5'6", 5'8", 5'9", or higher in height. I think of him driving a nice car. I think of him being relatively active. He has some like athletic skills. He's into sports. He drives nice cars. He lives in a nice condo. He makes a certain amount of six-figure income a month. Um, these are the things that usually come to my mind when I hear the word masculinity. And I'm sure everybody has their own definition of what is considered to be masculinity. So what I did was I looked up the definition of what is masculinity. And the definition I received was qualities or attributes regarded as characteristics of men. Okay. Now, I also looked into synonyms for the word masculine. For anybody who's forgotten what synonyms are basically saying the same word. It's a different word, but it's basically saying the same thing. You know what I mean? So what I had got gathered from synonyms of masculinity, the words were virility, manliness, maleness, vigor, strength, muscularity, ruggedness, toughness, robustness. These are the synonyms for the word masculinity. Okay. Against everybody in the chat room, all my mods, welcome everyone, because I won't be hanging out in the chat room as much today. I'm going straight into my content. Um, so also the definition of masculinity, also called manhood or manliness, is a set of attributes, behaviors, and roles associated with boys and men. Standards of manliness or masculinity vary across different cultures and historical periods. Both males and females can exhibit masculine traits and behavior. Now, there's a huge misconception about what is considered to be masculine. Okay, because like I said, we all have a definition of what we consider to be masculine. All right. Some of us consider masculinity as a man who's physically fit, who works out in the gym. He pays his bills, he's self-sufficient. He's very ambitious. He's very driven. He's basically all about handling his business and carrying himself. So it's different definitions of what we consider as masculinity. However, there's a huge misconception about what is considered to be masculine. The actuality is that there are some men that are mistaking masculinity for misery, and many don't even you know, think that word masculine and misery can even be phrased within the same sentence. A lot of men don't believe in that. Majority of men don't think they can be miserable and masculine at the same time. But the truth of the matter is, the reason why a lot of people don't believe that men can be miserable and yet be masculine is because the ego usually conceals or protects his misery. Now, I know plenty of people are probably saying, what does being miserable have to do with being masculine? It actually has way more to do with it than what you all think. The men in today's society have been taught that if he, or my bad, I'm saying she, well, especially these days, because you got some masculine females out there, but particularly I'm talking in reference to men. Now, before I go further with this content, let me make sure that I address this. Put this out here. If it does not apply, you do not have to reply. This content is not in reference to all Black men. This is not a sexist content. This is not a bashing content. This is just content pertaining to some men that are very incompetent and insecure with themselves. Okay? Just thought I'd put that out there. All right? Because I don't want everybody to think I'm talking about all Black men. Okay? Only certain individuals. Now, as I stated, I know plenty of people are probably saying, what does being miserable have to do with being masculine? Like I said, it has more to do with it than what y'all think. The men in today's society have been taught that if he shows or displays any signs of emotions or weakness, he's considered a better male, incel, or low common denominator. Basically, displaying weakness above the surface. Okay, so basically, what society has taught us about masculinity is if a man shows any type of weaknesses, that he's lacking masculinity. 1 second, everyone. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. My daughter had called. Okay, so back to the content that I was saying. Uh Let me see, because I lost my place. This is what happens when people call me. Now, basically, we've been taught that if a man displays any weakness or emotion, that it automatically takes away from his masculinity. So as long as he doesn't show on the surface any weakness, any emotions, then automatically he's defined to have masculinity because he does not display these characters that I just stated. Big ups to everybody coming in the chat. To all my mods, be on deck because I'm not in the chat room, so I'm not going to see who all is coming in. Okay. So moving forward, however, those that are instilled with wisdom, those who have wisdom and knowledge, can read below the surface and know that just because a man doesn't display his weakness and emotions up front or above the surface, it does not mean he isn't weak, because he's become a professional at hiding his weaknesses and his emotions below the surface. Okay? So just because a man is not showing his weakness and his emotions up front, he's concealing it, he's hiding it. In other words, he's acting reserved. He puts up this front like he's unbothered, like nothing can't happen to him and things of that nature. Only guys who do that. I mean, men who are not afraid to be who they are, they're not worried about being judged. They're going to show their emotions. They don't care who's looking. They don't care who's going to feel some type of way. A confident man is going to show his emotions. Now, those who are also the insecure man, he's insecure. So therefore, he's going to always hide his emotions because he doesn't want anybody pinpointing any of his weaknesses. Okay. But like I said, a secure man, he don't care who's looking at him or who's going to feel some type of way. He's going to express his feelings regardless of what. Now again, to all my mods, anybody who comes in, make sure you welcome them because I'm not in my chat room. So a couple of people, I'm not. They're gonna think I'm just overlooking them when I'm not. When I'm not overlooking them, I'm just not in the chat. So basically, the insecure man, uh, his way of dealing with his masculinity. If he's insecure, he's going to hide his insecurities. Okay, all of us, including women, have exterior and interior faults and flaws. Now, there's a difference, everyone, between your exterior and interior flaws. Your exterior flaws are the most evident and obvious because it can easily be seen and it is visible. For instance, your flaws may be you have excessive weight. You may be a little too big, for your age, for your size. That could be a flaw for you. Your flaw could be, that you may be having a receded hairline. You may have a Michelin tire waist. You may have excessive gray hair. In other words, you're going to have some imperfections. Now, these are your exterior flaws, meaning people can notice these type of flaws about you the moment that they see you. Okay. So they'll be able to look at you and size you up. Oh, he's too short. Oh, she's too fat. He's not in shape. He has a keg instead of a six pack. Um, these are your exterior flaws, meaning everybody could see your exterior. You can't hide your exterior flaws but so much. Now you also have what's called your interior flaws. Now, this is the thing about the Black community that I notice a lot of brothers on YouTube, they really don't touch up this type of topic, especially when it comes to doing topics pertaining to Black men. Very rarely do they talk about interior flaws. And Black women, they also don't do it as well. But in this particular case, we're talking about masculinity. Now, keep in mind, I will be talking about feminism. I got the wrong damn banner up the whole time. My bad. I will be talking about what defines feminism next content. So I will be talking about insecure women that are successful and that have college degrees. I will be talking about them. But today, I'm talking about what defines masculinity, the inconfident man. So back to what I was saying when we're talking about these interior flaws. Very, very rarely does anyone ever address interior or internal flaws because they are so easy to hide and conceal. But what happens over time is that all interior flaws will sooner or later start to reflect in your exterior flaws. And I will address this later in the content. So, back to my point about learning how to conceal these interior flaws, meaning these are flaws we that are not as visible, so we can easily cover or hide our interior flaws. There are so many ways in which some men who lack masculinity compensate for it by many other means and methods, which right now I plan to explain these elements and methods that these type of men use. And again, if it does not apply, if it does not apply, you do not have to reply. This content is not in reference to all Black men. Okay? Now, I'm going to go into the different elements that some of these men, these insecure men, and again, I'm not talking about all Black men, I'm talking about insecure Black men. These are the different methods, the different strategies that they will use to compensate for their masculinity. Because the truth of the matter is, there are some men, even with all their masculine attributes, underneath those masculine attributes, there are a lot of insecurities. Okay. Just like you have some insecure Black women, you have some insecure Black men. And these are the methods that they will use to hide, conceal, or perpetrate behind their insecurities, starting with number one. So I'm going to give y'all the different elements that these insecure dudes guys will utilize. Okay? So just bear with me. The first method that insecure men will use is what I personally call the clown method. Okay? Now, let me tell you what the clown method consists of. This method, is what your man has to use it. This is the type of method that an insecure man will use because method of what your man has to use. Okay, because I screwed up on my notes, y'all, because I had to write all this stuff down. This is a method in which a man has to use shame tactics by clowning, insulting, bashing, or making jokes about other people's flaws or imperfections so that he could feel macho or good about his imperfections. What's up to everybody in the chat? Again, I'm not in the chat, so all of my mods, make sure all of my guests who come in, may they feel welcome. Give them a hi, how you doing? Welcome to Mocha's Cafe de Paris. I'm not in the chat, y'all. So again, this is the method I call the clown method. This is, like I said, this is a method that an insecure man will use as a way to compensate for his masculinity. He has to bash other people, he has to insult other people, he has to make fun of other people's imperfections. And basically the reason why an insecure man will use the clown method, because that's his way of basically covering up and compensating for his insecurity. He basically gets a kick out of social approval because he's seeking the attention he probably once upon a time was deprived of as a little boy. Does that, just to make sure, I want to make sure that's registering with everybody. The clown method is a method in which an insecure man has to use shame tactics by clowning, insulting, bashing, or making jokes about other people's faults and flaws. He does this because it makes him feel macho, and that's the only way he can make his insecure self feel secure, is by basically insulting and picking on other people. Because again, he probably once upon a time was a deprived little boy that probably didn't get much attention. So now that he's a full grown man and now that he's successful and maybe he's doing well for himself, he wants to compensate for being that little boy that never had got that attention. Maybe he was the pissy boy or the dusty boy in elementary school, and all the girls used to pick on him, laugh at him, and to this day, it still haunts him, even as a full grown man, that women have never really approved of him, that women never really found him attractive. So again, this is the reason why some insecure man, they resort to the clown method, meaning they have to pick on other folks, make fun of other men or make fun of other women. They have to constantly criticize and make jokes about the opposite sex or either the same sex, just so they can feel good about themselves. And this is another reason why the clown, he tends to usually lash out on women. The insecure man who used the clown method, he usually most of the time he lashes out on women more than he does men. Okay, and the reason why he resorts to lashing out on women, and he'll lash out on women because he's always been rejected or either he's still facing rejection. This is the reason why the clown has to lash at women and sometimes other men that are a threat to him. Um, the clown, the insecure man that uses the clown method, believe it or not, a lot of ladies are drawn to him because of his comical behavior. Okay. Pop back in the chat right quick. Yeah, turf. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, did he soil his trousers? And yep, pretty much. Um, Basically, the clown method, a lot of ladies are drawn to these type of dudes that love the clown, who love to throw jokes, who love to tease other people, who love to be the clown. Some women are drawn to this type of dude for his charisma, but the problem is they will laugh at his jokes all day, they will find him funny, but the problem is the women that laugh at his jokes would not be interested in dating him or achieving anything more with him, but they like to be around him because he's the funny guy, he's the funny dude. So basically, the insecure man, he uses the clown method. Like I said, he likes to joke, he likes to make fun of other people, he likes to throw jokes. That's his way of throwing daggers or insults or shade at other people. And when, believe it or not, a lot of women are drawn to the insecure man who uses the clown method because they think it's funny. And what woman doesn't like a man who jokes? What woman doesn't like a man who's funny? Doesn't like a man who likes to say funny stuff? Women, we are attracted to men with a sense of humor. But the problem with the insecure man that constantly has to joke around, that constantly has to be the comedian, women like to be around him because he's funny, but they would never try to get with him. They don't want to be his woman. They don't want to build a relationship with him or connection with him. They just like being in his company because he's the funny guy. Okay. So the moment, but this is the thing, the insecure man that uses the clown method, he uses that to kind of pull women in to gravitate towards him because he knows that being the joker, Being a funny guy has a way of drawing women to him because women love guys who like to joke. But the problem is, once he feels like he can make a move on a female who likes his jokes, who likes his shade throwing, who likes his wittiness, the moment she rejects him, he will automatically become offended and will insult her, and he won't nothing to do with her. I've seen this all the time. I've seen men who love to be the class clown, who love to be the comedian, who love to joke around because again, that's his way of covering his insecurity. He likes to make jokes about other men. He likes to make jokes about other women. And he does this to draw people to him. He loves to be a character. He loves to be the comedian. He loves to be the joker. So once he feels like he's gotten a certain woman's attention, who loves his jokes, who loves to laugh at him, and he asks her out or he tries to get with her, and she says no, he's going to automatically feel some type of way because he's thinking because if the woman is laughing at his jokes, she's interested in him because she tells him, oh, you so funny, oh, you such a clown, oh, you such a funny guy. He thinks now that's an advantage to him. He thinks that's an advantage. He thinks now because women find him funny that women automatically find him attractive. And what a lot of these dudes are not understanding is just because a woman finds you funny and she laughs at all your jokes, it does not mean that she finds you attractive. What's up, Turf Oracle? Thank you for the $2 donation. Appreciate it as well. Thank you for always donating to my channel. Appreciate you. So a lot of these dudes, that's how their masculinity gets hurt because they think all of these women love to hang out with them and these women love to joke with them. Let me tell you something. A woman can hang out with you all day. A woman can laugh at all your goddamn jokes and not be the least bit interested in you. Will not date you. Will not let you hit it. Will not let you get it. She thinks you funny and she will laugh at you all day. She will laugh at your jokes all day. She will tell you you funny, but she is not going to get with you. Okay? So when men find this out, especially the one who uses the clown method, he usually he gets offended by it. You know, because he's thinking because all of these women are laughing at his jokes and finding him funny that they finding him attractive. A woman can find you funny and not be attracted to you. Okay. Now, the thing is, like I said, the moment he thinks that a woman finds him funny, he's automatically going to assume that the woman finds him attractive. So when he does try to make a move on her and he rejects her, he's often puzzled and confused. The insecure man that's used to using the clown method, he used to being a joker. That's his way of making women attracted to him or getting women interested in him because he's a good joker. He has good comebacks. He's very witty. He's very funny. Big ups to everybody in the chat. Rep and Neon Poetic. What's up to all of y'all? You know, I'm gonna still be popping in and out the chat. But yeah, it's a lot of dudes that will get mad when a woman rejects him. He will automatically become offended because he's not understanding. She's always laughing at my jokes. She thinks I'm funny. You know, it happens all the time on YouTube. You have a lot of male content creators. They're very, very, very funny, very, very, very comical. Everybody laughs at their jokes, but the women that are laughing at their jokes are the same women that will not date them. These are the same women that will not get with them. These same attractive women who hang out in their chat rooms, these same attractive women that hang out on their panels, they will laugh and have a good time with the dude who loves to use the clown method. But they not going, but these females don't want to be with them. And then when they try to make a move on these women and these women reject them, and all of a sudden the dude is acting funny now. He's treating her different because he tried to hit on her, he tried to get with her, and because she declined him. And this has happened a lot on YouTube. I've seen a lot of women who have become close to certain male content creators, and because she always laughed at his jokes, she always laughed at everything, and now he tried to hit on her or tried to make a pass on her. She said, "No, I don't look at you in that way." He gets offended. And this often keeps the woman puzzled and confused because she can't understand why the funny guy took offense to her not wanting him, not realizing that, she stepped on his ego by declining his offer. And that's happening a lot on the YouTube streets. Um, Female subscribers or female content creators that like to rock with certain dudes on YouTube because they funny, they real comical and everything. But when this man tries to make a pass on him, and she rejects him, he don't want her on the panel. He doesn't want her on the panel anymore. He doesn't want her being the moderator. He doesn't want any parts of her anymore. Once she has rejected him because basically she has bruised his ego. That's what it boils down to. When it comes to dealing with these type of guys here that use the clown method, in other words, he loves to throw jokes. That's his way of covering up his insecurities and hiding his insecurities. The only way you can stay in the clown's good graces is by constantly applauding him and complimenting him for all of his jokes, witty sarcasm and shaming tactics. So again, men that are very insecure, that is their way of dealing with their masculinity, by being a funny guy, being a joker, got to joke around, got to be the big comedian, got to make his jokes about bashing people, using shame tactics, making fun of other people's flaws or imperfections, because again, that is his way of making himself feel macho and good about himself. Now, the next method that a lot of insecure men will use to conceal their masculinity is the Mr. Billboard method. Now, the Mr. Billboard method is the method that is used in which the inconfident man feels the need to constantly display and brag about the materialistic lifestyle he lives. Not only does he brag about all of the things that he has, but he will degrade other people who he feels does not live up to the materialistic lifestyle that he claims to have. And you have a lot of insecure dudes that do this. They have to constantly brag about themselves. It's one thing for a person to feel proud of all their accomplishments. I think any man or any woman that is successful, especially when they came from poverty, when they came from situations where people felt like they was never going to have nothing, they was never going to accomplish nothing. I feel any man or any woman should always feel proud of their accomplishments. However, it's one thing for a person to feel proud of all of their accomplishments, but it's another thing when you have to degrade and assault others to make yourself feel good. That's the problem. And I notice most insecure men who lack confidence, most likely he probably could have been raised in a family that struggled. What's up, sheep stay, sleep TV? How you doing? Most likely he probably um came up and was raised in a family where he came from poverty and struggled, which is the reason why he aims to stay on top to this day by tearing down others. So some men that are very insecure, the only way they feel like they can prove their masculinity, some of them grew up in poverty. Some of them grew up in households where their mother and father really couldn't do a whole lot for them financially. And I get it, I came from a family where we struggled too. So men who have been raised in poverty, when they do finally become successful, they have the tendency to rub their success in other people's faces by tearing them down. Or in some cases, he probably didn't even come from a family that had poverty. He could have been raised in a family that was well established, But being that he came from a family that was well established, most likely they taught him and raised him how to be arrogant since he was a young man. And now what has happened, his arrogance has really manifested now that he's a grown man. So as I was stating, there's a lot of in men that are insecure. There's a lot of men that are inconfident, and they think they can hide their insecurities behind being masculine. And that's why I'm breaking down all of the different methods they use in which they hide their inconfidence behind their masculinity. What's up, Todd and the Craig, the tech guy? Good to see you. Yep, telling the truth, raw, no condom. Now, back to this Mr. Billboard method. Also, the type of insecure men who use the billboard method, he talks about his house, he talks about his cars, he talks about the designer labels that he wears, and he talks about his money. He talks about money all of the freaking time. An insecure man is going to always talk about money, 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 money. What's up to everybody entering the chat? Hello, Sadia. An insecure man is going to always talk about what's in his pockets. He's going to always do that. This type of method, I call the Mr. Billboard method. Mr. Billboard, let me put that in there so y'all could keep up with the different methods I'm talking about. Put that in there. Mr. Billboard. Mr. Billboard is basically a bragger. Okay? He's a bragger. He has to brag about the clothes he bought. He got to brag about how much money he got in the account. He's basically a Mr. Show Off. He's a show off. Yeah, a prima donna. That's what he is. He's a straight show off. Mr. Billboard got to display, got to advertise every freaking thing he has. And men who do this stuff, they're not understanding. They make themselves become thought targets. You target thoughts. Once women know how much money you got, she's not checking for you because of you. She's checking for you money for the money. And a lot of these insecure men, they know they're not that attractive. So they have to flaunt the money as a magnet to draw women to them. Because if a man is really confident in himself, he can pull a woman with a 1987 Volvo and can still pull way more women than a man with a 2019 Mercedes Benz. Because even if a man is pushing a 2019 Mercedes Benz, if his communication is whack, he don't know how to finesse a woman, he don't know how to talk to a woman, he does not know the whole real dialogue with a woman, she's going to get bored. She's going to get bored with him. It doesn't matter what he's pushing and what he's driving. She's going to lose interest. Now, this is not to say she's not going to stop using him. If he's willing to and allow her to enjoy the fruits of his labor, a female, especially if she's a no good type of broad, she'll use him for what he has and pretend to be interested in him just so she can keep enjoying the fruits of his labor. And men that lack that men that are in denial and really pride or really big on themselves and big on their egos, they will truly believe that because they have a Mercedes Benz, because they wear designer label suits, because they wearing expensive gator shoes, they will think that a woman is really interested in him and think the woman is attracted to him. No, she's not attracted to you. She's not interested in you. She's sizing you up based on what you got. So she feel like she can benefit from the lifestyle that you're advertising that you got. So some of these guys are psyching themselves out and making themselves believe that women want them, when the truth is the woman don't want you like that. She just wants you for what you present yourself to be. Okay? And it's a lot of guys that are delusional with that. They think every woman that's talking to them, she's talking to them because she's attracted to him or she likes him. You can have a woman that can hang around a man all day long, laugh at his jokes and do all of that, and she not even be interested in him. Okay, a lot of that is happening on YouTube. It's a lot of guys on YouTube think that because of certain women keep hanging on their panel, certain women is hanging in their chat room because they got a lot of female subscribers that the females are checking for them, and a lot of these females, they're clowning these dudes. They giving them fake ego compliments. Oh, you look good today. Oh, your avatar is handsome today. Oh, this that and the third, and they know we're interested in these dudes. They just trying to get in. They're trying to clout chase. Sometimes you got to be cool with the ugly guy in order to get to where you going. You got to stroke the unattractive guy ego. And if he's not good looking, you have to compliment something on him that looks good. Oh, I like your suit. I like your shoes. I like your watch. I like your this. My thing is that if a lot of women are just complimenting you, but they're not trying to get with you, that's already a big red flag right there. That it's not that many. You're not macking like you think you are. A bunch of females can hang around you, but if ain't none of them trying to get with you like that, if ain't none of them trying to like, get down with you on a certain level, that already tells you right there. Because you have a lot of females, even in these YouTube streets, that are very manipulative. They hanging around some of these unattractive guys that are very popular on YouTube, knowing that if these guys were to talk to them in person, they would not be interested. They would not give these guys the time of day. It's a lot of females in the YouTube streets that is boosting up a lot of these guys' egos. And the truth of the matter is, they are not attracted to half of these guys who they hang out on the chats with, who they do the lives with, who they be in the chat room. They half of these women are not attracted to these type of men. They're just attracted to the attention that these men are getting. What's up, Michelle? Yeah, and it goes both ways, but I'm talking about masculinity. We're going to say feminism for another day. Today we're talking about the men, the insecure men who try to use different methods to build their masculinity. So we want to stay on subject, everyone. I will be talking about women next. Do not think I'm just going to go in on the guys today, and I'm not going to go in on the women. But today we're focusing on the men. What's up, underrated darkness? Only the insecure men who lack who lack insecurities. Okay, so we got to stay on one subject at a time. When we go bouncing and bouncing all over the place, that's where we lose focus. So, like I said, we're going to talk about feminism. That's going to be the next content I do after this is uploaded. So, um, that we're going to get to that now. Also, let's stay in this lane right here with the Mr. Billboard method. Now, for everybody who's just coming in the chat room and trying to figure out what I'm talking about today, because I know some of y'all may be a little lost in the sauce. Let me put that back up. Let's see. Today's recipe, I'm talking about what defines masculinity, the inconfident man. And what I've been doing is I've been breaking down the different elements about men that are really, really insecure. Not all men. If it doesn't apply, you don't have to reply. I'm talking about these men that really lack confidence, lack low self-esteem, And they use different methods and different tactics to hide their lack of low self-esteem behind their masculinity. So I already mentioned the clown method, which is a method in which an insecure man, will use shame tactics by clowning, insulting, bashing, or making jokes about other people's flaws or imperfections so he can feel good about himself. That's a clown method. Now I'm talking about the Mr. Billboard method. This is the method in which an insecure man, he feels like he has to constantly brag about what he has. Okay, that's his way of making himself feel superior. He talks about his house, his cars, his money, his designer labels. He has to always advertise his materialistic lifestyle. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, he's always pocket patrolling. He's a pocket patroller. An insecure man is a pocket patroller. He's always pocket patrolling, meaning that he's always watching other men how they spend their money. He's always pocket patrolling other men because it gives him a sense of superiority. He's watching how an insecure man will pocket patrol another man because if he feels like that man is not spending money like he's spending money, he's automatically feels a superiority. He thinking that the other brother is broke. It's a lot of flashy dudes. It's a lot of dudes who like to advertise their money and their wealth. And because another man isn't doing it, he's automatically going to think the other man is broke. When the actuality is, but just because a man doesn't display his money, it doesn't mean he's broke. Some men are wise enough to know I don't want to attract a thought target. I'm not about to display all of my money and what I got because I don't want to draw a gold digger. Just because a man is not showing his money, he's not bragging about what kind of cars or what kind of house he got, it does not mean he's broke. Some men are very selective about who they share their financial status with. And as a man, I don't blame you. I'm not about to walk around here. If I was a man, I'm not about to showboat and let none of these broads know I got money. I'm balling like that. Why would I do that knowing that I'm setting myself up to get used by a female who can particularly only want me for what she thinks I can contribute to her? So it amazes me when I hear other men going in on other men being broke. He's not being broke, he's being selective. He's being wise. He's using discretion. He's not about to sit up here, yeah, 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 I make this much money. Yeah, 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 I'm driving this kind of car. Yeah, I'm living in a gated community. I'm pushing six figures. How much money you got? How much you rolling? Any man that advertises his money is a straight idiot. Straight idiot. Thank you, dear Royalty, for the $2 donation. I so appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate that. Ain't no real man about to sit up here and put out what kind of suits he bought, how much he paid for his Rolex watch. He's not about to do that. But an insecure man will advertise his wealth and his money because that's his way of having leverage over other men he feels are inferior to him. Because one thing I've learned is the men who look like they got money, that don't always mean they got money. And the men who look broke, that don't mean they always broke. Because, like, for instance, my husband has his own roofing company. He's been roofing for every bit of almost 20 something years. And when and people who do not, and people who don't know my husband, if they was to see him in the street, they would think he homeless. They would think he's a bum because he's always dressed in dirty clothes because he's a roofer. He does construction. Most men who do construction, you're going to see them dirty most of the time. Okay. And when he's dressed up, He's a totally different person. He looks totally different when my husband dresses up. But it's the men who are dirty and dingy. Those are the ones who be making the money. Okay? It ain't always these pretty boys. If you could stay in and dressed up in a nice suit all day, then something up with that. Unless you're a lawyer, unless you got one of those white collar jobs, unless you you know, one of those type of requirements where you got to wear suits, then that's different. But if you could be in a suit all day, either you must be a undercover drug other undercover dope boy, or either you getting some type of SSI checks, you getting something. There's no way a real man could stay clean every goddamn day unless you are a millionaire. And even millionaires, God bless his soul, Stephen Jobs didn't wear suits every goddamn day. Stephen Jobs, the man who invented Apple and all of that, he was rocking Walmart stuff, Target shirts. The man didn't even look like he had money. It's always the insecure men who got to brag about money and make themselves look like they always got money. Exactly, Turf. During the work week, I'm a dust cloud. I'm not concerned with my appearance. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. A real men ain't got time to be pretty boy Floyd day in and day out. A real man ain't got time to be suited and decked down day in and day out. Not if he's a man with goals, not if he's a man with ambition, not if he's a man that's working and got his own company. He can't be no pretty boy all day. My husband is probably dusty 6 days out the week. And probably only dress up when we go to Sunday, when we go to church, or we going out for dinner, something like that. But for the most part, he has his own roofing company, so he's looking like a contractor day in and day out. So as long as so back to this billboard man, which is the insecure dude that's hiding behind his masculinity. It's not a good look when a man is pocket patrolling. No man needs to be keeping up with another man's pockets. You do not need another man don't need to be calling another man broke. Another man don't need to be calling another man a square and watching his money, because I know dudes who don't spend money on themselves, but those are the ones who are invested into houses. They own several houses. They own more than one company. They putting up for their children's college so their kids can go to college. Some men have children, and if men got kids, their kids are their priority. They ain't got time to be dressed up in suits day in and day out because they got children they have to feed. Some men, you're not gonna catch them dressed up in suits and looking pretty boy day in, looking like they going to the damn players ball every damn day, because they got wives, they got families. They ain't trying to impress none of you other dudes who want to insult them, because they already got a woman, they got a family, they got kids. They ain't out here trying to catch somebody. It's only the dudes who are still trying to catch that got to be pretty boy Floyd day in and day out. If you're a bachelor, you're a single man, then yeah, that's something you probably have to keep doing if you want to keep attracting a certain type of woman. But once a man has gotten himself settled, he got a wife, he got kids, or he own it. Even if he don't have a wife and he don't have kids, he got his own business, he chilling. He ain't got time to be keeping up with another man's pockets. He ain't worried about if the next dude is broke or not, because he doing him. He enjoying his life. It's only insecure dudes that want to call out what another man don't got. Why you ain't got this? Why you rocking these kind of shoes? Why you live in this kind of apartment? Maybe because he has a certain type of purpose. Everybody's priorities are not the same. So why are grown men knocking other grown men who they don't think ain't got no money? Because he's not showboating and advertising his dollars. He ain't bragging about where he live at. It just amazes me the hypocrisy that we have going on within the Black community today. Now, to talk more about the Mr. Billboard, the Mr. Showboat, the Mr. Bragger who loves to brag about his materialistic lifestyle. The reason why he constantly feels the need to acknowledge his materialistic life is so that no one can notice any of his exterior or interior flaws because the image of his materialistic lifestyle covers that. Are y'all marinating with me on this? Want to make sure we all on the same accord in case I have to explain that in a better way. The reason why Mr. Billboard has to constantly brag about what he got is because that is his way for covering up for the things he don't got. All right. For instance, let me give y'all an example to make it a little bit more simple for you. Who's going to notice an abused little boy, a little boy who has been abused? How are you going to notice that if he's driving a 2019 Mercedes Benz? Are y'all feeling me on this? How you going to notice a miserable man if he's driving a 2019 Lexus? You're not going to notice his misery. And that is the reason why he buys the things that he buys. So his misery or whatever personal pains he's going through in his life, it's not going to stand out because his image is going to overshadow that. The royalty says the real rich ones have nothing to prove. And plus they know what comes with people knowing they got money. Hello, thank you very much. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Basically, in other words, he uses materialistic things to mask his pain. I remember this one man who had a reputation of being in and out of the correctional facility. He was always one of those dudes, always in trouble with the law since he'd been a young man. And after he had served all of his time, now that he's out into society and he's trying to readjust to the world, he constantly tries to keep up with all of the new images. He's out here buying cars he can't really afford. He's out here staying in homes he really can't afford to keep up with. And, you know, I remember he reached out to somebody in my family, that he was getting ready to lose his vehicle. The people was coming to repossess it. And he did not want to lose his vehicle. And that's when my cousin told him, you know what? But if you can't afford it, why do you want to keep paying for something you can't afford? It's gonna strain you. You're gonna lose peace in your sleep at night trying to hold on to something and keep something that you cannot afford to keep up with. His response was, I don't want people thinking less of me. If people see that I got to go back to walking or I got to downgrade and get a cheaper car, people not going to respect me. And my thing is, do y'all not realize there's a lot of insecure men who feel like the only way they can gain notoriety and respect is by being materialistic. They have to be materialistic. The only way they can feel validated, the only way they can feel like they somebody, they got to be well dressed all the time. They got to have the most expensive shoes. They have to drive a certain car. They have to talk about the money they got. They have to constantly put up this front because they want to keep the respect of other men. And they feel like the only way they can get respect and validation from other men is by preserving this image that they balling and they got so much. The former so-called ballers that are reliving yesteryear are the worst. Yeah, we have a lot of insecure men, and they think their masculinity is defined on what they drive, on what they wear. And the truth of the matter is, you could be a man with a $2,000 suit on, but your confidence ain't worth $200. So your materialistic lifestyle, your image does not define your masculinity. So that was my second method. Like I said, the first method was the clown. The second was Mr. Billboard, Mr. Show Off, Mr. Like to show his ass, Mr. Like to prove he got everything. The third one is the male Jezebel. The male Jezebel. Now, these are the different elements, these are the different methods that I'm breaking down for the insecure men that like to hide behind their masculinity through these methods. The third method that they like to hide behind is called the male Jezebel. This is another method in which an inconfident man uses what the hell is my notes here? Because I had typed this stuff. This is another and what confident man uses when he has to have. Oh, this is a method in which an inconfident man uses when he has to have multiple sex partners to feel masculine. It's you will be surprised that how many insecure men define masculinity off of how much poontang he's getting. That's right. That's right. Clothes don't make a man. What's up, Black Caesar? Appreciate your presence. Yeah, it's a lot of men that's defining masculinity based on how much booty they get. Some men have this, let me put this way. If it does not apply, it does not have to apply. I'm talking about insecure men. Some insecure men have this attitude in which the more women they have slept with, the more masculine it makes them feel. It's a significant ego booster, and it definitely brings them validation, especially when it comes to achieving the approval of women. Let me tell all you guys something in this chat room. The main men that are up here preaching to y'all about stop looking for women's validation, they are the main ones that are looking for it. How many of y'all in here believe that? A lot of these men that are preaching, stop trying to approve, stop trying to get validation from these women, stop trying to be accepted from these women, stop trying to, get these women to want you and approve of you. They are the main ones that are seeking women's approval. Because if you go to some of their chats or you go to some of their live streams or whatever, as long as women are in a chat room approving them, you notice they never get rid of women who validate their points. They never get rid of women who approve of their points. But the moment a sister tells them, says, I disagree with that, he'll get rid of her, even though he's preaching to all you men out here, don't seek female validation. But they do it all the freaking time, and I constantly see it. It's a lot of hypocrisy in the YouTube streets, ladies and gentlemen. Turf says Mocha is correct. The male Jezebel has a sense of entitlement that's in a league with the female spirit. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me tell you something. Don't let none of these dudes in these YouTube streets fool you. They are seeking validation. Every last one of them. The main ones who up here preaching, man, these women can't do nothing for me. There's too many simps up here looking for female validation. I'm not looking for no female validation. Yes, the hell they are. If you ain't looking for female validation, why you have females on your panels who only agree with your viewpoints or only agree with what you feel and your theories, and you only allow women in your chat room to be your moderators only if they have been rocking with you this whole time, agreeing with what your channel stands for. So I don't want to hear another dude up in these YouTube streets say they ain't looking for female validation, because that's bullshit. Every last one of them are looking for it. Because if you wasn't looking for it, you wouldn't even have females as your subscribers. They wouldn't even be on your panel. You wouldn't want females nowhere near you if you ain't want their validation, or if you wasn't looking for their validation. And you wouldn't be getting rid of the ones who disagreed and didn't co-sign with you. You wouldn't be getting rid of women who disagreed with you if you was not looking for their validation. So let's keep it 100 up in these YouTube streets. Thank you very much. Now, moving on with my next point. The male Jezebel. It's a significant ego booster, and it definitely brings them validation, especially when it comes to achieving the approval of women. And how another point is how you know men are seeking validation, because they don't be dressing up for nothing. They don't dress up and dress nice and wear designer labels and nice clothes for nothing. They don't wear this stuff to attract other women. They wear the stuff. I mean, they don't wear the stuff to attract other men. They wear the stuff to attract women. So much for not looking for female validation. It's a crock of bull. Men look at jewelry and shoes because they were raised by women. That's a good point, Red Mike Radio. Yeah, I can foresee that. Absolutely. If they grew up in a household full of women that was always, into their looks and accessorized or whatever, yeah. A couple of feminine traits. Some men love to be well dressed because they was around a house full of sisters or around their mama who always dressed nice and everything. So yeah, I can see that. Part of a man's sex drive is power, so validation is important to the corporation. So you're correct. Thank you. I appreciate some of the brothers up in here for being honest with me. Cause they be thinking some of us women we don't be catching on. Oh, I ain't looking for no female validation. These females, they don't make me, they don't break me. I ain't looking for no female validation. But as soon as a female don't agree with my points, and she don't validate me, I'ma get rid of her. I'ma boot her off my panel. I'ma boot her out my chat room because she disagreeing with me. She ain't co-signing with me. I'm gonna have to get rid of her because she ain't validating me. You ain't looking for female validation. You ain't gonna care if she agree with you or not. Anyway, now back to the male Jezebel. Not only does he sleep with several women, but he also has to brag about all of the women he has slept with. It's men in 2019 still bragging about how much booty they get. I thought men stopped bragging about getting coochie since the movie The Mac came out since the 70s. I didn't know men still was walking around here bragging on their penis. I ain't know that. Okay, well, maybe I'm old. I don't know. This is a major red flag of immaturity and insecurities. Yeah, players usually hate women. Yeah, and I'm sure it's also some other underlying dynamics behind that too. But yeah, players, and it's the reason they hate women, even though they try to act like they don't hate women. They ain't mad with women. Oh, you hate a woman for a reason somewhere. Either your mama done did you wrong, either the woman you really loved, who you did give your heart to, did you wrong. Oh, they hate women for a reason, which is why they became a player. For every cause, there's an effect. And the problem is we have so many men that are too masculine to say that a woman hurt them or a woman or that they're scorned. It's a lot of men that are not transparent because they think that's going to show a sign of weakness if they say, I had a woman who played me, which is why I hate women. I had my own mother abuse me. My own mother used to cheat on my father. My own mama was a whore. That's why I hate women. They're just going to go around saying they hate women, but they're not going to be transparent as to why. You don't go around here just hating women just to hate them. It's a reason you hate them. Somebody did you wrong, whether you was a little boy, maybe you was molested by a woman. You hate a woman for a reason. It's not just cause. A man ain't promoting this type of level of hatred against black women because he wants to. Somebody did him in. Somebody rejected him. Somebody hurt him. Somebody abused him. Hurt people hurt people. Okay, no different than a black woman. These black women who's walking around here talk about they hate men. Oh, they hate men for a reason now. Either they was promiscuous and screwing every Tom, Dick, and Daryl, and once every man got what they wanted out of them, they didn't want them no more, they threw them away. You just don't go around here hating the opposite sex just because. It's a reason for everything. Now, uh, anytime a man has to brag about all the women he slept with, this is a major red flag of immaturity and insecurity. No man who is really happy with himself, really confident with himself, feels the need to go around and brag to other men about how many women he done banged. This is that old high school locker room talk. Now, if you was back in high school and you did this, okay, I can see that. But when I see grown men up here telling other grown men what kind of women, how often they have sex, how many women they having sex with, it's very juvenile. Very true, 49 Jubilee. Very true. A man with multiple sex partners lacks sense and most likely very insecure. Yeah, they need their ego stroked. They need their ego stroked. They need their ego stroked. Yeah, it's a lot of ego stroking. Now, plus, I think it is very juvenile because not too many grown men these days are going to share their sex escapades with other grown men. It's not too many grown men doing that. A grown man know how much cutty he getting. And he ain't got to go around acknowledging it. He ain't got to walk around, yeah. I hit this off the other night. I broke this one back out the other night. He keeps his sexual escapades to himself. He's confident within himself. He knows how many chicks he's getting. He don't have to go around exploiting how many women he banging and hitting off. He already know how many women he hitting off. You ain't got to brag about something that you know is true. It's always the ones that are lying or exaggerating that got to talk about, I done bang 6 chicks every night. When you've been banging the same big bust up Bukisha that you hide behind closed doors, you only bring her out during vampire hours after goddamn midnight because you don't want nobody seeing you with this vampire looking broad. But yet you get around your men, your little male friends are brag about, yeah. I've been hitting this chick off. They're over here and hitting this chick off. No one ain't hitting off that many chicks. They've been hitting off the same big bust up Bukisha, Bothea. That's what they've been doing. It's a lot of hypocrisy in the black community, in the YouTube streets, men and women. But today we're talking about the men. And next, I think probably tomorrow, we're going to talk about feminism. We're going to also talk about women who do this as well. So rest assured, the women, their turn is coming too. All right, but today is the guys' turn. Many so-called males use extremes as governating with multiple women and unwarranted violence to master inner turmoil. Absolutely. What's up, Don? And that's what I'm saying. Men who going around here, insecure men that are bragging on how many chicks they banging, not even realizing how serious it is these days to not partake in its sexual escapades. It's not good. Let me tell you guys something. Please don't listen to this mess y'all hearing on YouTube from these other guys about bang as many women as you can bang, do this, do that, bang her back out. These dudes are going to set y'all up to get caught up with a crazy ass narcissistic broad that you're not going to be able to get rid of. Because the thing is, if you are banging too many women, you're going to slip somewhere. You're going to miss and get comfortable. You're not going to cross all your T's and dot all your I's. Somewhere you're going to get sloppy. You're going to miss and get one pregnant. You're going to miss and get one that's going to have you in a fatal attraction ass situation. You can't go sleeping with all kind of females these days, guys, because these women today, they cut from a different cloth. Back in the day, yeah, you could used to could sleep with all kind of women and didn't have to worry about it. But these days, it's just too risky. Don't let these guys make you define your masculinity or make you feel masculine because you don't have as much sexcapades stories that they are sharing. Because it'd be just your luck. You get caught up with a broad that you can't get rid of, and it's not worth the aggravation, you know. Also, there are many other cases in which Mr. Billboard is not really sleeping with anybody, but will sit up here and make up all of these sexcapades stories to gain relevance from other people who admire him and his false shenanigans. What's up, Art? How you doing? A lot of them is making up these stories about all of these women that they are sleeping with. Also, this content is brought to you by the Anti-Fuckery Zone, promoting knowledge, not garbage. We aim to build the Black community, not demolish it. Thank you very much. Also, for those who are interested in Cash Apping, my hashtag is Diamond Girl. If anybody wants me to cover certain topics or issues, or you ever need to reach out to me about anything, my email is cafedeparis79@yahoo.com. Now, let's keep it moving. And kids are there to find out their relatives. Yeah, you know, that's a good point, Jubilee. Find out all your kids get together and find out their relatives. Yeah, you go around here slinging out peanuts left and right because it make you feel masculine, banging all type of chicks. You get all kind of kids. You get all kind of, you know. And the truth of the matter is, let me tell you guys something. A very interesting point that some of y'all in here probably not even y'all. Some of y'all probably never even thought about this. What I'm getting ready to tell you. The reason why some of these dudes also don't have the issue with sleeping with all kind of women, because some men are impotent. They cannot have children. That is why they feel the need to go around and raw dog or screw as many women as possible because they know they can't get pregnant. They know they can't get a woman pregnant. It's a lot of men that are suffering from impotent issues, meaning they can still give it up. I mean, they can still get it up. They can still have sex. Some men cannot produce children. Some men can't have kids. So therefore, that gives them a even bigger incentive to go around having sex with all type of women. Some men have a low sperm count. Some men cannot produce children. So that's another reason why some insecure men, they go around screwing and having all type of sex with all kind of women because they know they really can't get caught up like that, you know. So that's probably something that, you know, a lot of people didn't think about. Now, absolutely. Topaz Star, yeah, overcompensating. That's basically what today's content is about. It's a lot of insecure men that are overcompensating for their masculinity by doing the things that I have been describing. Now, also, as I was stating, Mr. Billboard is not sleeping with anybody, but will sit up here and make up all these escapade stories to gain relevance from people who admire them with their false shenanigans. After all, it is easy to keep deceiving individuals who have gained an admiration for you because of your charismatic character. Big ups to everybody entering the chat room. Topaz Star. What's up, Tyrone? Yeah, I know a lot of people are just coming in. So yeah, but I'm gonna leave it up, you know, for anybody who wants to go back and view it later. But yeah, for those who are just coming in the chat room, I'm talking about today's recipe is what defines masculinity, especially when it comes to the inconfident man. What I'm talking about is the things that the insecure, inconfident man, the man who lacks confidence, the tools and the methods he will use to compensate for his lack of low self-esteem. He will use it to compensate for his masculinity. Now, this is the next type of strategy in which an insecure man will use this method to compensate for his lack of masculinity. The next one is called Mr. Obnoxious. Okay? Now, Mr. Obnoxious is the certain type of insecure man who will use his method of being rude, disrespectful, quick to lash out on people anytime the opportunity presents itself in order for him to hide behind his insecurities and his lacks of confidence. In other words, this method, the insecure in the man who lacks security and isn't confident, he is quick to lash out or become rude or disrespectful whenever an opportunity presents itself for him to be able to do it. For instance, give y'all an example of how Mr. Obnoxious works. If there is a certain type of female who he has his eyes on, and for whatever reason, she decides to reject any of his advances, he will insult her, curse her out, call her names, anything to make her regret not giving him an opportunity. Now, how many of us heard of certain guys doing things like this? Might have been a guy in your neighborhood. Ladies, you probably had a guy on your job, simple as I had a guy approach me one time just in the street trying to holler at me and get my number, and because I declined him, he called me a stuck-up broad, all because I would not partake in the opportunity that he was giving me to talk to him because I wouldn't participate in it. Mr. Obnoxious, when he can't get his way with women, or if a woman rejects him, a woman doesn't approve of him, he will lash out, he will be disrespectful, he'll call it a B word, he'll do this kind of stuff. Again, only an insecure man has to down a woman who rejects him. A man with confidence, he's not going to care if a woman rejects him. Guess what? He's gonna go there and just talk to the next broad. He ain't about to sit up here and get all emotional and bent out of shape with his feelings. Oh, because a woman doesn't show interest in him. He's not going to call out her name. He's not going to disrespect her. He's not going to, he's too much of a man. He's too masculine to get out of his masculine character and allow a woman that rejects him to make him become emotional. He's not going to do that. You have to realize that Mr. Obnoxious, this dude is used to getting his ego boosted. Okay? And the moment a woman steps on his ego and smushes it, now he feels the need to strike and retaliate versus just being a man and gracefully walking away from his rejection. If a woman ain't interested in you, oh well, life goes on. You don't have to resort to calling her bees and hoes and all of these degraded names. Some of these dudes, these insecure dudes, are quick to throw around the whole word like a collection plate in the Baptist church. They will throw around that word the moment a woman disapproves of them and shows no interest in him. She's a hoe. She's a hoe. She this. She that. Well, you sure was trying to talk to the hoe. You was trying to get with the hoe. But because she done rejected you, oh, she's a hoe. And I see this all the time on YouTube streets. I've seen men and women on the YouTubes be real cool with each other until he makes a move and she rejects him. Now she's no longer welcome back to his panel. She's no longer welcome to moderate for him. None of that. I'm like, wow, when did grown men start getting so petty because a woman, stop showing interest? So what? There's plenty of women to see. Why you want to let one woman get you so emotional to the point you have to kick off the panel? You have to disgrace her on the live stream. You have to kick her out the chat room. You got to take the damn moderator wrench away from her. Who does that? When did men start getting so damn emotional about a woman not wanting you? If you this player and you so fine and you get as many women as you want, why is you letting one woman's opinion make you feel some type of way? Many of these douchebags exempt their auntie's attributes when they get turned down. Yeah. Some of these men will, honey, you cannot tell these men, I'm not interested in you. Not an insecure man. An insecure man. Because the only reason, believe it or not, these insecure man, the majority of insecure man is only going to give a chance to a woman he feels like is going to stroke his ego. That's going to approve of him. The moment he feels like a woman is going to be combative or not approve of him, he's not going to give him a chance. He's not even going to second guess giving her a chance anyway. Now, this is the other thing, y'all. Like I stated, Mr. Obnoxious. You have to realize this dude is used to getting his ego boosted. And the moment a woman steps on his ego, now he feels the need to strike and retaliate versus just being a man and gracefully accepting the rejection. He will also discourage other men that may be interested in talking to the woman that rejected him by telling other men that she's a hoe, she's this, she's that, anything to make the next dude who may stand a chance in getting with this woman, all because she rejected him. I've seen men on YouTube and off YouTube who wanted a certain woman, and because she rejected him, and there was another dude that wanted to talk to that woman, hey, I think I want to holler at Karen. Karen, man, shoot, why you want to holler at Karen for? Karen, she ain't nobody like that. Karen, she done been with this dude. She done been with that dude. It's insecure men who have been rejected and one of their boys want to holler at the woman who rejected them, they will sit up here and tell old dude, I don't even talk to her, she a hoe. And some of these guys are so dumb, they will follow up behind the other men and believe the woman's a hoe just because his homeboy said he's a hoe. A lot of these dudes think they homeboys are so loyal to them when really he don't want you getting with her because she did not want him. Goodness gracious. It amazes me the stuff that people be falling for. Cause she ain't want them. Nah, another dude want to talk to him. Ah, man, don't talk to her, man. She a thought, man. She ain't this, man. She ain't that, man. And some of these men will go so far, they will do a panel talking bad about the woman for hours when he was trying to get with this woman. But see, he ain't going to tell nobody that. I've seen that. I've heard that all the time. I'm like, y'all is crazy. Y'all really think people won't, y'all really think grown men are not petty? You will be surprised how many grown men walk around here talking grown, acting grown, dressing grown, and just as childish as I don't know what behind closed doors. Petty Pauls. That's what I call them. Petty Pauls. You got a lot of insecure men that's so petty. A woman don't want them, and as soon as they friend want to talk to them, oh man, she'll hold on, talk to her. Tony says very true. Lots of insecure men raised by only women who can't handle rejection. Yeah. Either they were not either they were not raised by a woman, or some of them, they probably lost their mothers at a very young age. So, or if they had their mama didn't raise them, it's one or the other. I know it does happen all the time, Neon. I know it does. Childish, insecure man can't take a L. If a woman don't want you, she don't want you. But what amazes me, these type of men who can't handle rejection, they want to call other people out on who can't handle rejection. Don't get mad because you fat, you big, and no man wants you. Okay, well, if you want to call women out for why a man don't want them, don't get mad if a woman calls you out for why she don't want you. Let's play fair, okay? This is a prime example of why you should never interact with women at work, you're most likely to be slighted by a fruit fly in a man's body. Yes. Yes. So true, Turf. Tony, who hit it on the spot, grown boys who got their way to discredit women due to rejection or complete destruction. Yeah, petty ass Pauls. That's what I call them. Now, moving along. Yeah, yeah, you can't, like I said, an insecure man can't handle rejection. The moment a woman rejects him and one of his homeboys or somebody he know wants that woman, he will deter that man and that woman from linking up. Now, this is the thing. Sadly, many women have lost the chances at getting a good guy, all because the bitter, insecure dude who they rejected had already spread her name around and made her look bad simply because he was rejected by her. And a lot of you grown men, y'all are strong and wrong because a woman was not interested in you and rejected you. Why are you making lies about this woman? Why are you spreading rumors about this woman? Because you want to discredit her from being wanted by any other man because she did not want you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Furthermore, this is another thing, y'all. The insecure man, and he will also disrespect other men that he feels are very humble. Now, I've seen that on YouTube and off of YouTube. I've seen a lot of men who are just very reserved, very laid back, and have a calm, cool, collective character. They constantly get tried by these obnoxious, loud, arrogant dudes who have no filter, who don't care what they say. The loud, obnoxious, rude type of guys, they are always testing the most well reserved men all the time. It is always the most obnoxious, rude, disrespectful, arrogant, Mr. Showboat, got the act of ass class clown dudes who are always trying to challenge the most well reserved, humble, respected men. Nothing boils my blood pressure more than to see a well respectable, gentleman like guy get trampled over by rude, obnoxious, class clown ass dudes. What's up, Tony Smith? Good to see you. Leon, I've experienced that. Never even met in person, but bitter because other men are interested. Get child, yeah, Neon, honey. Yes, honey. The only way you can avoid that problem, women, put you an avatar picture where you like a goddamn gremlin and you ain't got to worry about none of these dudes on YouTube trying to check for you. I'll put an avatar of a 400-pound face woman on your avatar. I guarantee you, none of these dudes on YouTube are going to come checking for you. That'll avoid all of that. I'm just saying. Absolutely. Oh, Tony says hyper masculinity is not true masculinity. Yes, sir. Glory be to God on that. It's a lot of men who define masculinity off of being loud, rude, obnoxious. They think the more disrespectful they are, the more they're proving their masculinity. Just because you loud, we don't see the masculinity. I'm going to tell you what we do see. We see the immaturity. When I see a man acting loud and cussing another man out and calling another man a Pussy mother effer and you a lame son of a. When I see a man do that, I don't see masculinity. I see immaturity. What's up, Naima? How you doing, Ma? Good to see you. I don't see masculinity in a man that acts like that. I'm sorry. I don't see it. I see masculinity when a man sees another man getting out of character. He say what he has to say and he leaves. He's not going to sit there and get all emotional and go back and forth screaming and yelling at the top of his lungs with another man arguing with him like they a couple. And it's a shame that this is why I'm doing this content, because it's so much misconceptions about what is defined as masculinity, which brings me to my next point. For those of you who are just coming in, I'm talking about insecure men, men that are confident are compensating for their masculinity by using these tactics that I have been applying, and that I've been talking about. Now, this is the next tactic that men will use, that insecure men will use to compensate for their masculinity. Mama issues. There's a lot of insecure men with mama issues. The insecure and inconfident man will use the mama method. In other words, he seeks women's constant validation because he grew up with mommy issues. Now, contrary to what many may believe, I feel like a lot of our Black men in the Black community are suffering from not having real mothers. Okay? And no one is more aware of this than I am. And there's many more women are starting to come to the reality that a lot of Black men, well, not all Black men, if it does not apply, you don't have to reply. Some Black men have insecurity issues because either they had a mother who did not mother them, meaning that maybe she was a very abusive mother. She called them names. She beat on them. She told him he was never going to be SHIT because his daddy was never sugar honey iced tea. Made him feel less of a man as a little boy. She stripped him of his manhood from the day that he was born. It's a lot of Black men in the Black community that are suffering from lack of confidence because the first mother that was supposed to make, the first woman that was supposed to make them feel like a man was their mother, and she did not do that. And it's a lot of men who will not admit to this, and instead they will go around just hating all women because the one woman who they was expecting to love them, she failed him in that. And my heart goes out to all of the Black men. If you had a Black mother who failed you, you have my deepest sympathy. But you're not going to be able to heal from that by lashing out and just being a complete jackass. That's not how you deal with your hurt and your anger. I understand that a lot of men have not had real Black mothers, or in some cases, some men, the mothers passed away or died before they could experience the blessing of having a mother to nurture them. Grace says, my mom did all that, but treated my same blood brother differently. I can concur with that, Grace. This is a big issue within the Black community. I feel like a lot of our Black men are suffering from this. I truly believe. What's up, Nolan? I truly believe that it's a lot of our Black men that are very resentful towards women because their mothers did not do them right. Your mother is supposed to be your first woman, your first love. And if she didn't love you, you're gonna find it very difficult for another woman to love you as well. Like I said, maybe the mother passed away before she could really nurture him, or he had a mother that had been living, but she never nurtured him and she never mothered him. Men that suffer from mommy issues are always looking for a woman to validate them. What's up, King Ba? Good to see you. Um, Now keep in mind, I said the word validate, not approve, because these type of dudes still um feel a sense of entitlement, whether a woman approves of it or not, and he's not going to wait on her approval. However, he still wants her to validate him, meaning that he still wants to be complimented, even if she doesn't really approve of him. Now, there's a difference between a man, what's up, Sonny? There's a difference between a man looking for approval and a man looking for validation. Now, understand that approval and insecure man, let me rephrase that. An insecure man looks for approval or for validation. Okay? Now, realize they are not the same thing. A lot of people think approval and validation, they're not the same thing. Meaning that if a man makes a decision, he don't care if you approve of it or not. He's going to make that decision. In other words, an insecure man, he's not going to wait for a woman to give him the green light to do something. He's going to do it whether she co-signs on it or not. However, the insecure man still seeks for her to validate him even though she doesn't approve of him, meaning that he still wants her to boost his ego and compliment him, even if what he's doing, she totally disagrees with it. That's all I'm saying. What's up, Gigi? Exactly, we're on fire. For those of us who have had parents, we were fortunate not to fall into this category. Now, this is the sixth one, y'all. This is the sixth one. This is another method that insecure men will use to compensate for his masculinity. I'll call this particular guy, this particular insecure man, I'll call him the conquering chief. And I'm going to tell you why I call him the conquering chief. The insecure and inconfident man will utilize the conquering chief method, which means that he considers that he is above his whole crew, even the men who are supporting him and who have been supporting him and helping him to meet his goal. In other words, he will build a crew, meaning that he will get other guys to join his revolution or to recruit onto his brand or joins his ideas, but he will always remind him that he is the HNIC. In other words, we have a lot of conquering chiefs. And we have a lot of this on YouTube where there may be a content creator. He will get a lot of guys to come together to rock with him to help build his brand through YouTube. He'll get a couple other guys to join on board with his brand so they could build a movement or they can build some type of YouTube foundation to where they can build a platform in which it just serves men that think like they do or women who approve of men that think like they do. Okay? But this is the problem with a man, an insecure man that has a conquering chief. The problem is he still thinks he's better than all of the guys who is supporting him. He believes he is bigger. He thinks he is better than all of the men who are following him. And I see that all the time. And people wonder why YouTube panels and platforms end up breaking up. Things happen. People get out of pocket because what tends to happen, the guy who started the movement, he starts to adopt this attitude that he is the chief and everybody that is supporting him is just Indians on his team who shares the same ideologies and perceptions that he does. He will really embrace another man he will not embrace another man who has totally different philosophies or viewpoints from his, because he feels that the man's philosophies, his difference in opinion, may outweigh or overtake his philosophy. Yeah. Turf says real barbarians have equals and counterparts. No one is above any. Exactly. But the conquering chief, he wants to be on top all of the time. He wants to be the only man above the group that gets the most recognition, admiration, and attention. And as soon as his colleagues start stealing some of his shine, or they start getting the attention starts going to the other guys that are supposed to be underneath him. Slowly but surely, he will start having an attitude. His ego will get in the way with the men who have been supporting and rocking with him from day one. He will usually, this type of dude, the chief conqueror, he usually has to have a whole group of other men, or he has to have an entourage of people, men and women, who share the same philosophies about life, women, and money, just like he does. The insecure man, he only wants people around him who thinks like he thinks, who believes in things the way he believes in things, who views life the way he views life, who views women the way he views women, who views money the way he views money. The insecure dudes only want to rock with guys who are on the same mental level as them. They don't want to rock with other men who know more than them, or who have that certain type of charisma that stands out more than them. Just like black women could be petty and competitive with one another, I strongly believe that some of these insecure black men can also be petty and very competitive with other black men. I strongly believe that. Now, again, let me make sure I make this clear. If it does not apply, you don't have to reply. I'm not talking about all black men. I'm not grouping all black men. Certain insecure individuals. That's who I'm talking about. They only want people who think like they think and do what they do and move what they move. First of all, I don't want nobody in my circle who only thinks like me, who only shares my philosophies, who only understand things from how I understand it. How can your movement grow if you always got somebody that agree with only your ideas, with only your intake, with only your way of seeing things? How's your movement going to grow if everybody is thinking on the same level? What's up, Just Ash Shar? How you doing, honey bun? It's good to see you. Appreciate your presence. What's up, Caribbean Fire? He is going to flip on his moderators, yo. You ain't seen that troll in the chat. I'm taking your wrench. Yes, honey. When you have these, what I call the conquering chief only wants moderators on his team that's going to agree with everything he says and he does. He only wants women on his panel and in his chat room that's going to agree and believe in what he says and what he does. He's only going to want men who agree with what he says and what he does. And the moment you go against it, guess what? You getting the goddamn boot. Okay? He taking away your wrench. He taking you off the panel. You are no longer welcome back anymore. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. And that's what it boils down to. Exactly. Okay, you ain't masculine if you sit around all day. Exactly. Now, um, what's the other point? Basically, let me go back to this the conquering chief, y'all. Basically, these types of dudes, let me tell y'all, these types of dudes, these conquering chiefs, I consider them to be ego pesticides, ego leeches. We got a lot of ego leeches in the YouTube streets, meaning they'll only feed off one of another's ego by constantly boosting each other up by co-signing on one another's shenanigans. We have a lot of people in the YouTube. What's up, soul provider? How you doing? We have a lot of conquering chiefs who get with other dudes that think on his level, that act the same way he act, that see things the same way we see it, and we wonder why these guys end up clashing and falling out because they all too much goddamn alike. Everybody wants to be the man. Everybody wants to be the most knowledgeable. Everybody wants to have the big ego. Why you think they fall out? They start off so close and so tight. It amazes me how when I see these conquering chiefs come together, they so tight, they so close, they eating up other content creators, talking bad about other people. They all on the same page, dogging other people, slandering other people. They on the panel for hours talking bad about other people, and then they fall out. Who does that? Now y'all fall out. And y'all was supposed, you know why? Because too much of the same thing ain't good. It's not good to put too many people with too much egos in the same setting. Drama is most likely to go down. You don't need too many dudes on an ego trip to be on the same team because somebody gonna get out of pocket. Somebody gonna think they bigger than the group. How many of y'all remember the movie Juice? How many of y'all up in here remember the old school movie Juice with Omar Epps and Tupac? How many of y'all remember that movie? I'm so tired of all these breakup and makeups with these men on YouTube. I'm tired of it. Won't y'all finalize y'all divorce and move on? All this back and forth, y'all dog each other, talk bad about each other, y'all air each other dirty laundry, then y'all back being bunkie partners again. I don't understand it, but anyway, I know women to do that because women is petty. I know women is petty and childish. Women will fall out with each other and become friends. I see women do it all the time, but when I see these men do it, it's very discouraging. But how many of y'all remember the movie Juice? With Omar Epps, I think Jermaine Hopkins was on there. And my was supposed to be baby daddy Tupac. Exactly, King Bob. Recipe for Disaster. Well, let me tell y'all about the movie Juice. In case y'all don't remember, Juice was an old classic back in the day. One of the best, one of my favorite gangster movies and stuff. Um, and basically, it was about four homeboys. They all was in the projects together. They all was friends. They all was supposed to be a crew or whatever. And they all pretty much was on the same level as far as the hood life. You know what I mean? But slowly but surely, once Tupac, who played as Bishop in the movie, once once he had gained a little bit of power, he got trigger happy. He started thinking he was bigger than the group and everybody was supposed to do what the hell he said do. Now, when they all started off, all of them was on the same level. All of them was homeboys. Nobody was above the crew, right? But as soon as Bishop had got a little bit of, power, and especially when what's the boy that played Oda? Oh my gosh, I see his face, Khalil Kane. I forgot what his name was in the movie. He was the pretty red, he was a pretty light-skinned guy. I had like a hella crush on him. I can't remember. Raheem. I was in love with some Raheem. Oh my goodness. Yes. He could have got it, honey. He would have been a pedophile though, because I was only 13 at the goddamn time. But I was in love with some Raheem. Yes. I had that light skin of I had that light skin fetish then. Oh, I used to love me some red pretty boys with curly hair. Oh my gosh. That was like my weakness, honey. I used to love some Raheem. OMG. Yes. It was on I remember when Juice was on VHS, and I used to always rewind it back to just his parts. You know, it was on tape then. Ain't been on DVD. Girl, oh, I used to be so infatuated with that man. Oh my gosh. Yes, Turf. Yes. I was on the El DeBarge. Yes. But I've been out that phase. I love my brown skin and my dark skin. I love my dark skin guys. I've been out that I've been out the I've been out the El DeBarge stage. I think I reverted to the Wesley Snipes stage when I saw Omar Epps on Love and Basketball. So I retired from the Elder Barge phase since then. And my husband is dark skinned. Well, brown skin. Oh, I ain't like Radamez. No, I ain't like him Caribbean because he was a jerk on the movie. He was too thuggish. Scared thug guy scared me. I was always one of those black women. I ran from thugs. I didn't embrace him. He scared me. He was too gangster. No, I ain't like no Radamez. No. I had like Raheem because he was tall and he was cute. Oh my gosh. Like I said, I would have made him a pedophile. He would have been a registered sex offender for the rest of his life messing with me. Oh my goodness. But yeah, but like I was saying, but remember when, like I said, when Bishop had got that gun, he just started acting like he was above the whole damn crew. And that's what happens with the king the what I say, the conquering chief. You know, he don't mind people coming on his, you know, he don't mind people supporting him. He don't mind his homeboys rocking for him. He don't mind his dudes riding for him. But sooner or later, he will start to think he better than everyone else. I've seen it on YouTube. I've seen it off YouTube. I've seen these guys who all come together at first acting like they the best of friends. They get on panels dogging people, talking about people. Yeah, that nigga lame. Yeah, these bitchs. I mean, would be down by law talking about other people. But then they done fell out, and now I see them talking bad about each other. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Y'all used to be tight. Y'all had a brand. Y'all had a platform. Over misunderstanding because egos and stuff got in the way. You know, now y'all can't stand each other. Y'all airing a lot. What amazes me is that a lot of these men will come on YouTube and complain about how black women act, but they acting just like black women. They being petty, they being messy, they're telling each other business. It's a lot of hypocrisy on these YouTube streets. But we are expected to maintain and act a certain way. I see brothers on here selling out on each other. They done left one platform and jumped to another platform. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Cause a lot of these guys, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of them I used to follow. And I was big fans of their work. I was big fans of their shows and their content. But every time they keep splitting up, I got confused. I ain't know where to go because the main ones, most of the guys on YouTube that I had they all was together. I liked them and I liked their shows because they were together. But once folks started falling out, and people going their separate way, I just don't listen to nobody no more. Cause I'm like, I can't keep up with who. And the thing is, you really can't get attached to none of these platforms because people is kicking other people out for all kind of reasons. You can see certain people walking with the panel for years, and out the blue, you don't see them on there no more. Oh, we got rid of him because he wasn't down with the team. What? He the reason I was coming over here. Okay, well, y'all ain't rocking with him no more. I guess I'll go somewhere else. That's what I'm saying, bro. Uh, I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, man. A lot of these men on YouTube, they acting just like black women. They being overly emotional. They telling each other business. Back in my day, real men, from what I see my fathers do, my grandfathers do, the moment you cross them, they just don't F with you no more. I'm seeing all these makeup and breakup relationships. I never seen so many men disrespect each other on YouTube and then they turn right around and be cool with each other. I've never seen that. Once a man betrayed my father and you tell my father's business or you disrespecting my dad, I never seen that man come around my dad no more. My dad didn't invite him to any more cookouts. My dad didn't sit down and have a beer with him. Now, it's one thing if teeth and tongue fall out, y'all had an argument on the panel and words got exchanged, okay, all right, and y'all decide to squash it, okay. But when another man has blatantly disrespected you as a black man, calling you a punk mother effer and a sorry nigga, when a man disrespects another man to that caliber, he's airing your business, he's airing things from your past. I really don't think that you should have a kiss and makeup session. I really don't think a man should have a kiss and makeup session with another man who has disrespected the hell out of him on live national for the whole world to see. Now, if we fell out and you said all kind of stuff and called me all kind of punks and idiots or whatever behind closed doors, okay, we can settle that. But for you to degrade someone on a live stream and then y'all back being buddies, what the hell? When did men start kissing and making up? Somebody explain this to me. I need an answer. I'm still trying to figure that one out. But anyway, moving on. I know I'm kind of digressing, but it just amazes me. A lot of the stuff I be seeing it's just crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, I say all of that to say this, that all of us are human beings and we all have insecurities and imperfections that we all need to work on within ourselves. The truth of the matter is, there are a lot of miserable and bitter human beings, both men and women, that have learned to hide behind their misery by their egos, materialistic possessions, and image. Masculinity is not defined by what type of car you drive, what type of house you own, how many women and children you have, how much money you making. Your masculinity is defined by how you carry yourself as a man, by being respectful, courteous, intelligent, and carrying yourself with pride and dignity, not ignorance and arrogance. That is what defines masculinity. Okay? So I know today's content was pretty long-winded, but I had to do all of that. Now, for everybody who caught the end of it, like I stated, today's content was about the inconfident man. What do we define as masculinity? Basically, I told y'all that today's content was about the different strategies, the different ways insecure men that are insecure, the methods and the strategies that they will use to overcompensate for their masculinity. And they use these methods so their insecurities don't stand out. Like I said, the first method insecure men will use, just to give y'all a rundown, a quick brief summary of what I discussed. Thank you, Naima. I appreciate you, boo, for the $2 donation. Appreciate you, appreciate you. The first method I said was the clown method, meaning an insecure man, his way of compensating for his masculinity, he has to use shame tactics by clowning, insulting, bashing, or making jokes about other people's flaws or imperfections. The insecure man uses the clown method so that he can feel macho or good about himself and his own imperfections. Okay. Then the second one I brought up was the Mr. Billboard method. The insecure man, he uses the Mr. Billboard method um to as far as constantly having to brag and display about the materialistic things he has. That's the only way he can feel validated. He got to brag about his cars, he got to brag about his women, he got to brag about his money, he got to brag about his designer labels, because that's his only way of covering up his insecurities. And the only way he could gain masculinity is by bragging about his materialistic possessions. Then you have what I call is the male Jezebel. Um, Basically, he can only find masculinity by bragging about his multiple sex partners that he has. He has to brag about the different women he's sleeping with. He has to brag about all the sex and everything that he's having with women. That's his way of feeling masculine. Um, our biggest feminization probably been spread through the United States. Very good point, Paul Graves. Very good point indeed. I can concur with that. The other one was number four. The insecure man will use the Mr. Obnoxious method, which is his way of being rude, disrespectful, lashing out, cussing other men out, cussing other women out. That's his way of feeling like he's a man. He could only feel like a man by lashing out on people and being disrespectful to people. Also, this type of dude, anytime a woman rejects him, he uses it against her. He insults her, he cusses her out or whatever, he degrades her, all because she would not that basically because she declined him on his offer of wanting to get with her. So therefore he becomes Mr. Obnoxious. The fifth thing I said was mommy issues. The insecure man, if he has not been loved by his mother, if his mother was not a real mom, she didn't nurture him, she didn't love him, or she was very abusive towards him, he will seek validation from other women. So that's another thing. And the last one that I told y'all, the conquering chief. He will start a brand, he will start a team where he will invite other men on his team that share the same philosophies and ideologies that he shares. But over time, he will forget that he became, before he became a well-known person, that had it not been for his team, had it not been for the men who had been supporting him or the other brothers who didn't support him, he wouldn't be where he is right now. He wouldn't be as successful as he is right now. And now that he's gained notoriety, now that he's gained all this popularity, he feels a sense of superiority to now he's looking down on the brothers who supported him before he became big, before he became successful. So that is the different elements that I broke down to each and every one of y'all today, talking about the Inconfident men. Now, just so that all of you know, now that I did do my content for the Inconfident man, you know what defines masculinity, the Inconfident man. I will be covering women next. What defines feminism, the insecure successful woman. That is going to be my next recipe, because yes, we have a lot of women that are successful, we have a lot of women that may be beautiful, we have a lot of women that seem well put together, and underneath of all this booty and beauty, underneath that, she's a very insecure woman. She feels very defeated. She's not as confident as she pretends to be, as she portrays herself to be, regardless of how much surgery, butt injections, how many Prada bags, a Coach purse that she's buying. All of that is just to compensate for her low self-esteem, for her lack of insecurities, because there are plenty of women that are very successful. And behind all of that, they still feel broken. They still don't feel worthy, even with their college degrees, their master's degrees. I know women who got their own businesses. I know women who drive nice cars. And behind all of that, they're they're still very broken. Their success is just their way of hiding behind their insecurities. You have a lot of women that tend to drive very hard for success, and the reason they drive so hard for success because they also like an insecure man. There are a lot of successful women out here that are seeking validation. And they only feel like they can seek validation by trying to get on the same level as men, or trying to do things out of the ordinary that's a lot of women probably can't do, by starting their own businesses, by starting their own, platform, just all type of things. So I'm definitely going to be addressing the women next. Today it was about insecure men. The next content is going to be about insecure women. I've had a male subscriber reach out to me. He wanted me to do content on women who are successful, but behind the success, they're very messy. They're very insecure. They have low self-esteem. And trust me, I have the recipe for this. Also, I've done a content years ago called "She's Bad." She's. I think it's called she's bougie but doing bad. I did content on it before, addressing women who try to put up this front and act like because they're so beautiful and they're so successful, they own their own businesses, they make their own money. Yeah, underneath all of that, she may have all of that, but there's a lot of underlying issues. And again, it's too many women that are very attractive that keep getting a pass, and I blame you brothers for that. Y'all allow a lot of attractive women to get away with a lot because they look good, especially if they got a nice body, especially if they well put together. Y'all give beautiful women, no matter how dingy and dense and narcissistic they are. Y'all allow pretty women to get away with all kind of stuff, and you want to give the ugly sisters a hard time. You want to give the Shrek looking sisters a hard time. You want to give the unattractive women a hard time. But the thing about it is, these beautiful women, they are no better than these Shrek looking sisters, because underneath, a lot of them got a lot of underlying issues that a lot of you men are not aware of. But rest assured, I'm going to put all my brothers on. I put all the sisters on today, and some of you men on as well, about insecure men that are hiding their masculinity behind their possessions, but behind their image and all of these things. Because you know how I operate here. I have a very non-biased channel. I'm going to rock hard for the men, and I'm going to rock hard for the ladies. So now that I have did today's content on the insecure men, my next upload, I'm going to be talking about insecure successful women. So be on the lookout for that. Also, I owe y'all a part 2 for betrayal. How to deal with betrayal when a person has betrayed you in friendship. So I'm going to do a part 2 on that as well. So I owe y'all a couple of things. So again, hit the notification bell so you will be on the lookout and you will not miss out. Also, before I get ready to shut it down, for anybody who is interested in getting cable, if you are with a cable company and your bill is almost 150, almost $200 a month, Turf, is it you that brought cable from me? I can't remember. If it's you, let me know. If it wasn't you, then let me know as well. Somebody in here, one of my subscribers just brought cable from me. I can't remember who it was. But anyway, I sell my own cable. For all of you who are tired of paying X amount of dollars to your cable provider. If your cable bill is almost $100 or more, I have a cheaper cable alternative. I can give you close to 7,000 channels for only $25 a month. If you want up to 2 devices, it's 25. If you want up to 3 devices, it's $30. You will get close to 7,000 channels. I have all the sports packages: NBA, NFL, MLB. I know that Power is coming up Sunday. I don't know how many Power fans we got, but I have all the Stars networks. I think I have like 10 Stars. I have 8 HBOs. I have like 12 Cinemaxes. I have all the premium movie networks. I have all the kids channels. I also have all adult entertainment. I have every channel you can possibly get. I also have um channels from other countries. I got channels from Africa, Brazil, the Netherlands, you name it. I also have cable from other countries. So if you are tired of your cable company, you're getting fed up with them, you're tired of them adding taxes, you're tired of them adding late fees, I can make your life much easier. If you have an Amazon stick and you have the high speed internet, I can help you get a cheaper cable service. For those who are interested, I can send you a free 24-hour trial. Just email me. I'm going to post my email now for those who are interested in getting my cable. Just hit me up after and say, hey, I'm interested. What does your cable have to offer? I'm tired of giving Comcast, Dish Network, Direct TV. I'm tired of giving them all my money. I'm ready to move on and do something different. So where you can put your money into other things or whatever. So yeah. So anyway, in the words of Master Pete, I got the hookup. I got that hookup. If you know somebody else who's interested in getting a cheaper cable, I could also look out for them as well. So anyway, everybody, appreciate you, Shark, King Bob, Tony Smith, Naeem, or Turv, Paul, everybody, Neon, all of you who've been hanging out with me throughout this whole chat throughout the day. Again, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for the super chats. Thank y'all for the donations. Thank y'all for just being an overall good, group of subscribers for the most part. We may not always agree on everything, but I appreciate all of y'all for the most part. Y'all good peoples, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate y'all dedication and our loyalty. So I'm gonna get ready to shut it down. I'm about to go hit up some Starbucks. Anybody tried that new Popeyes chicken sandwich? I don't know why everybody making a big issue out of it, but I'm sure gonna try it out to see what's going on. Seem like Chick-fil-A and Popeyes got a competition. So I'm sure about to see what's popping. And I'm gonna give y'all my personal opinion on this Popeyes chicken sandwich and let y'all know if it's better than Chick-fil-A or not. So anyway, y'all, love y'all. This is your girl Lady Mocha. Remember, I'm gonna always pour you a cup of truth and break you off with a slice of knowledge. Y'all be blessed. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Bye.